today's ARC webinar on Industrial Internet of Things. I'm your host, Antonio Cialfi of ARC, and with us today to speak about this topic is Greg Gorbach, VP of Information-Driven Manufacturing here at ARC. Greg spearheads ARC's transformative technologies for industry initiatives, including analytics and big data, cloud computing, mobility, and Industrial Internet of Things. Greg, welcome.
Thanks, Antonio.
So we hear so much about the Internet of Things in the media. Is it real or is it hype?
Well, no doubt there's a huge amount of hype out there. But we also believe there's a real opportunity as well, especially in the industrial space. And there are no substantial technology hurdles to achieving some of the benefits that we expect to see. It's real easy to find forecasts of billions of connected things in the near future, but whatever the real number turns out to be, we all know it's going to be big, and it's a big opportunity for companies to improve their performance.
Okay, just so I can wrap my head around this, can you tell me what is a thing in the industrial IoT context?
Sure. An industrial thing in this context is, first of all, an industrial asset, but it's also a platform for new applications and services. It's capable of being managed remotely. Typically, it's part of an ecosystem, and it's got to be secure. So that means that it's got to have local capabilities in the areas of computing and communications. It's got to be able to monitor sensors and drive actuators. It's also got to be able to run analytics or agents or applications and stream data outside of itself as well. So if you're thinking about those kind of products, is really, and we do know some manufacturers who are wrestling with this right now. How do they build one of these industrial Internet of Things ready products? Well, you have to consider who are the players in the ecosystem, what connection technologies should it support, what sensors and data should the product expose, what kind of intelligence is needed, what performance and data selection and buffering and communications frequency and security and a host of other details need to be supported.
I'll have to say that's a new way of thinking about industrial assets. They will be smart and they will be connected, but what else do we need?
Well, we need the sensors and the embedded computing and communications. And then on top of that, we need some network technologies, probably need cloud computing, definitely need analytics and maybe some additional visualization tools. You need new software, execution software, so that you can drive decisions or actions based on what you've learned in the analytics. You can take it to the next level with some additional modeling and simulation, and of course you want to be able to access a lot of this information today on your mobile device using industrial applications. So we see an architecture that looks like this, starting at the bottom with intelligent assets, and then you need to be able to do some communications and control. You need some systems to be able to manage the devices or the assets that you're connected to and stream the data. And then once you've got that, you need some analytics and some software to really take advantage of it and also allow you to connect to existing applications, people, and throughout your value chain and to third-party services.
Great. What changes should we expect to see with industrial companies?
Well, we're definitely going to see a lot more sensors, which means more data. To deal with it, we're going to need more analytics and more visibility into what's going on. So we're going to need some new software and new requirements for existing software systems like MES. There are going to be new product requirements and new requirements and capabilities in your production equipment. Expect to see new architectures, sort of a flattening of some of the traditional architectures. We're going to have new relationships with customers, new service offerings, new relationships throughout the ecosystem, and new business models. So there's some pretty big changes coming. We don't think this is going to happen by, just rip and replace everything in existing plants, but we do see a huge opportunity to add sensors and analytics and software to reduce energy consumption and improve operations and flexibility.
So Greg, help me understand what part of an industrial company will be affected by the industrial Internet of Things. I mean, is it just production assets?
Okay, at ARC we like to use three intersecting axes to help us think about the different dimensions within a manufacturing enterprise. So here we show supply chain and R&D and sales and services, business operations and manufacturing. And there's a lot of things that need to work together. And one of the trends we're seeing is an increasing need for information flows among the systems, machines, people, and processes in all those dimensions, and actually throughout the value network as well. So when we think about the industrial Internet of Things, you can start by looking at some connected production assets on the plant floor, for example, and then add some advanced analytics and some business process execution software to start doing things in a new and more efficient way. Another thing you could do is build some connected products and put them out in the field, and then monitor them remotely and offer services like predictive maintenance or some other services to your customers. And along the way, you start to collect the status and history of your products, which you can use in your next generation of products when you design them. And during that design phase, you may also enlist some of your partner suppliers to give you some smart components to speed that whole innovation cycle. And use smart logistics to get it into manufacturing, in and out of manufacturing quicker. So there are a lot of opportunities, and this just scratches the surface there.
So Greg, I'm certain that there are people out there that are wondering if this is being deployed in the real world. Can you give me one, maybe two examples of real use cases for industrial Internet of Things?
Well, first thing I want to talk about is wind farm power optimization. We have a lot of use cases that we're starting to learn about, and one of the interesting ones to me is this notion of optimizing a whole wind farm and not just a single wind turbine. The turbine can optimize itself and adjust its blades and direction based on the local wind conditions. But if you add the proper group of sensors and analytics, then that leading turbine can influence the others so that they can trim themselves optimally, like a sailboat following another one in a sailboat race.
Well, we haven't talked about services yet. Any thoughts about that?
Sure. I think there's a huge opportunity to change the relationship with your customer by building products that are connected. So you can change the way your customers begin to interact with your products and your services. You can offer a completely new set of services, and you can begin to let your customers begin to see you as a valued business partner, not just an equipment supplier. And then from a manufacturer's point of view, you can add and connect some sensors and start taking advantage of that new data to learn some new things about your operations. You may change your processes and contract for new services and get better performance as a result. And then you can take that to the next part of the plant, or take another shot at taking the same plant to the next level. So I think there's a big opportunity there.
Well, looks like we're at the end of our time. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Well, first let me say that ARC is currently doing a lot of research in the industrial Internet of Things space on things like analytics, platforms, networks, design tools, and all the rest. We're learning a lot. But we can already see that the industrial Internet of Things has the potential to deliver new products, new services, new and innovative business models, more energy efficient processes, better productivity, and increased visibility. For asset owners, we see a huge opportunity to improve performance, lower asset lifecycle costs, and set yourself up for more innovation in the way you run your operation. And on the flip side, for asset suppliers, we also see an opportunity for improved productivity, especially in your field service workforce, and in your an opportunity to improve service business profitability, and to build platforms for innovation so you can take your business to the next level more quickly.
Well, Greg, I must admit this is certainly interesting stuff. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and perspective on this issue with us today.
Well, thank you, Antonio. I enjoyed it.
And that'll do it for today. Please join us again next time for one of our upcoming webinars. For more information on this particular subject, you can email me at ahhalsey@arcweb.com. And also, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter. Bye for now.